Hi, my name is Paige, and this is my portfolio write-up explaining my mood board. Adjectives describing my brand. I put clean, creative, unique, professional. Some typography options that I chose were for text font, I chose Manrope and Intertight. I like how these fonts are easy to read. And I put them both because I wasn't sure. I wanted to see how they both would look with Manrope having more space in between the specific characters. Like Intertight is, um, the letters are tighter together, so I just wanted to see which one would look better. And for my heading font choices, I put Antic, Didone, and Railway. I liked how these both look, and I know the first one is different than the body text, so and the second one being a little bit more similar to the body text, so I just wanted to see how they both would look. But yeah, those are my two choices. For my color palette ideas, I put a couple down because like I said about the fonts, I want to see what it looks like all together, test it out. And the first three are more warmer tones, because a lot of my work with my previous job, the color palette was warm tones, so I want to also incorporate warm tones into my um, layout so that there's a cohesive look. But I do this fourth one. I know they're more cooler tones, but I just like the colors in general, so I put them in there. For my graphic styles, I like grids of blended colors. I think they're cool. So I think something like the one shown would look cool as a background for the header section at the top of the homepage, where like my logo and my navigation will be. Other than that, as of right now, no, the only other graphics on my site will be my work. Here is a rough logo concept. This is a combination of my initials, PEH. I think it looks kind of cool, so I'm still going to play around with it, but yeah, I'm not sure if it's too confusing, but I like it, so we'll see. And then here are some layout ideas. This is the portfolio page of a designer named Ronnie. She designs motion graphics and logos. And one thing that I really like about her page, I also have her listed later on, but is that like her page has a clean, cohesive look. And I like this grid style. I like how it's white in the back, keeping it simple and while at the same time drawing your eye to her work. In each box is a mixture of both logos and motion graphics. Here is another example, Christian. I like how, again, they have a really clean look, but there's also got a little pizzazz in there with the fonts, and I like how they're rectangular shaped. The frames are rectangular shaped, and kind of like not in a straight line, but diagonal from each other. I think that's cool, while still keeping everything fun. And then here is another portfolio website. I'm gonna be honest, their website is in a different language, so I'm not really sure whose it is, but I really liked how the way they framed their graphics are like in different shapes, different, rectangles, squares, horizontal, vertical. It really, I think it's fun. It's different. It still looks cohesive, but it's. I think it's fun. I think that's something that could really work with my design since I have different aspect ratios and different things that I've worked on. I also like the background color. It's not white, but it's still really light enough to where it's not distracting. Here are my ideas, research, content, and strategy section of my presentation. So for my website inspiration and research, this first portfolio is of Mathis. I apologize, I probably am saying his name wrong. He is a senior motion designer and director. I really like the way he lays out his work. There's no spacing in between each frame, so it looks like one cohesive piece of work. Like they all fit together very nicely. With all the different colors, you really get a sense of his style. One thing that I would probably not do, or I would change, is just to make sure that these like the navigation is in a darker color than gray, just because it's kind of hard to read. My second inspiration is of a graphic designer named Nando. Two things I like about the design of his website are the imagery. He has cut out imagery, which I think it moves along with the page, and I think that that's different. I haven't seen that before. I really like that idea. It draws the eye. One thing, like as you can see, this box behind, it doesn't move. It doesn't like blend or disappear. So it kind of gets mixed up with the font, which can be distracting. So that's probably something that like I would be just something to be aware of. But then also for his navigation, when you hover over it, there's a line that goes through it instead of highlighting it a different color, which I thought was really creative, and I like that. So that's something that I'm going to try to incorporate with mine. Here's Ronnie. I talked about her page earlier, but here we can see like the movement, how she has them laid out, where there's like in between, like it's logo and motion graphics mixed in together, which I really liked. And then the last but not least, there's Alex. She is a graphic designer, and I really liked her page. There's a lot of movement as well. That's something that I've noticed with a majority of these pages, is that there's a lot of movement on the website, which I like a lot. I think that flows really nicely. But with hers, she incorporates all this imagery outside of her design, which I think flows really nicely, and I would like I use it as inspiration, so that if I want to add any more imagery, then to do it in a way where it works like hers. I also liked how her work is like displayed in a loop. It's nice. You don't really, and when you hover over it, you can like learn more, but at least people like don't have to like scroll and scroll and scroll. I don't know, I really liked it. It's a nice way to showcase what she does. And another thing that I really like is that like her entire website has a cohesive look that matches with her style, her design style. I think it really shows what her shows the viewer what her style is, and I think it's just displayed beautifully. So overall, my website purpose and goals are that I want my website to be a portfolio for my graphic design work. I'd like to incorporate some motion to show that I have knowledge in that, while emphasizing graphic design as my main form of work. My goals for this website are to create my first portfolio to showcase my work as a graphic designer with some experience in motion graphics. I plan on applying for internships at creative agencies this summer, and in the future I can use this site to help me get a job after school. I want to be creative and organized so I can clearly show what type of work I can do, what skills and strengths I have, and how to contact me. My target audiences are Chicago-based creative agencies with internship opportunities for graphic designers. And so for my content inventory, the first one I have is I will have my contact information, email, phone number, and location. And the second is in my About page, I will have a short description of who I am, my previous job experience in graphic design, and I'll also include a list of skill sets I have, including softwares that I'm a proficient in, like Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, After Effects, Premiere Pro, etc. For the third one, I will include information about my work as a short description explaining each piece and what services I use to create them. Fourth, I'm still deciding on how many image files I will include on my site. I want to make sure I have an array of my best designs. From the sites I have looked at, there are varying amounts, but I know I at least want 5. And lastly, I think I will need to include different sections for my work, since I have experience in both digital, print, and motion graphics, as well as email marketing, content creation, and videography experience. But I think that's going to be needed to be added over time because it is a lot, and I can always add more and more on my own outside of class. So yeah, that's my mood board. Thank you for listening.